Your Excellencies, I am Precious Osinaku, and I'm your host for the Peacemakers Hub. We're still on our conversation or series on family and family life. And today we're talking specifically on the importance of healthy sexual relations between couples in a marriage. This is because we recognize the tremendous benefit healthy sexual relationship have in a marriage. To continue this conversation with me, I have Dr. Ignatius Emeka Onyekwere. Dr. Ignatius is an international development and peace professional with specialty in early warning, early response, conflict prevention, security sector reform, and governance and project management. He's also a chartered mediator and conciliator. He's equally happily married with 2 children. I mean, this is a conversation to look forward to. Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Emeka Onyekwere. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Could you tell us some healthy characteristics of healthy sexual relationships among couples? Some characteristics. Can you share with us?
Yeah, I think from my own perspective, I'm going to talk basically from my own perspective, of it, and also from other, experiences shared, between friends and other people. Okay. So if you look at when you talk about those healthy characteristics, that should be shared in marriage, it all depends, because it is quite relative in the sense that healthy relationship starts from the first day of marriage. Those start from that first day of marriage. So if you want to really maintain that healthy relationship across board to sustain your marriage, you have to really picture those things that attracted you at the first time of marriage has to really live in your heart, in your mind for so long a time. Those, if it's your wife's maybe dazzling eye, if it's your wife's succulent lips, it's your wife, maybe whatever it is, has to remain, in your mind, all the time, for her to be always get attracted to you.
Okay.
So that is the first instance, because if you don't, get hold of that consistency and the, that consistency in appreciating your wife, despite the fact that, as a woman begins to have a child, she most often time it may not be as, she was the time you married her. Maybe some characteristics in her begins to change. Maybe the breast, begins to, flatten or whatever. The other things, begins to develop as, due to the pressure of a woman has, So you wouldn't just those things, you begin to lose interest, on that woman, or begin to, lose sexual, attachment with your wife. I think it's going to be a very crack to your marriage. So see your wife, that same way you see her, appreciate that your wife may have, depleted in her normal self because of, she's also producing something for you that makes you happy. Producing children, is something that's not really easy. So, get in tune with your wife, connect with your wife, communicate with your wife, both emotionally and physically, to really, make both of you, be on the same page at all time to attract each other for, sexual, satisfaction and the sexual, engagements, and to be mutually, enjoyed and in your marriage. I think that's all I think my viewers or whatever should really quite much be attuned to. Be with your wife. Also, apart from what you've seen in the additional time, the woman also need to really be, keep updates. Like when you're in the house with the husband, you look attractive. You don't have to wear trousers, cover up everywhere. You start in the morning cleaning the house in the evening, not taking your bed or whatever. Even if you want to cook, dress up, take your bath, look neat, be in the, be in the kitchen. Okay. Anything can happen anywhere, if you are
Okay. You're saying it goes both ways, both for the man and the woman. They both need to put in the work.
Yes. So
Your point
that's
has been
it.
taken. Thank you so much, sir. So, what
Yes.
are also like some characteristics of unhealthy sexual relationships among
Mhm.
married people?
Yeah, I think most of the time is kind of. I think I will put up first of all power relations. In the sense of this being very very unhealthy. In the sense that the man believes that each time you touch a woman, your wife, she's ready for you, and when she's not ready for you, it means that she doesn't love you. It means that she has gone outside to do something else from somewhere and she's tired. All these kind of things are abuse kind of it's a kind of thing that really can really damage marriage. Because by the time you're trying to put that force or that make a woman go against her will. Some people go into kind of converting that to gender-based sexual
Violence.
gender violence. Yeah. So most men do not know that they can rape. That's rape is not only meant for when you are not sleeping, when you are not doing that with your wife. You can also rape your wife, not only for other single girls or other women that not whatever, they are not married to you. When you are doing things and there's no that mutual connection, both physically and emotionally between you and your wife, and she's saying no, 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 and you're forcing her, you're struggling with her, overpowering her, it's a kind of rape. And
True.
it's violence. It's violence because
Mm-hmm.
woman both have to be ready. You can be ready, but your wife is not yet ready because you are going through a flesh, and that flesh you are going through is basically is human, and it's some pain it will feel when just like when
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to when put dagger on somebody, just dagger, a knife on somebody, it's not really like it's still the same pain that a woman has to go through when she's not ready for you, and you are pushing across. So basically, I think it's very quite unhealthy for men not to really understand their wife, that kind of stuff. So another part of that unhealthy, I think most of the times what causes that sometimes also is alcohol, too much alcohol and that kind of stuff. Sometimes also men, they do drink, and when they drink, they want just that, and I also think that though sometimes it goes both ways. Some families or some people, some friends, they encourage both ways. Though it's mutual, but the mutual should not be a negative mutual. What I mean, why by both of you agree you have to smoke ganja, you have to smoke weed to get on and kill yourself or take aphrodisia and whatever. So those kind of things are not really for married families. It's really hurting the woman because the woman wears up more than men. Yeah, despite the fact that they stay longer than men too, but they wears up more. They have a lot of pressures in their life through childbirth, through everything. You don't need to really give a woman very harsh, very painful, very bearable, parents in name of you're having sex with a woman. I think it's not really very healthy to do that. So get your wife some nice things, some nice chocolate. If she likes chocolate, get her pizza. If she likes pizza, get her anything she likes. Buy her gift. Buy her best. See me through clothes that she wears, and when she sees you, she showcases herself, and everything flows everywhere. Just like in a car when you don't put grease at the boats, where the greases are supposed to be, the car will begin they might knock or begin to make some noise that are
Malfunction. It's
not
about
malfunction. But if you give everything everywhere is down, the grease are well everywhere, then
yeah.
the woman enjoys you and enjoy her.
What best practices can they adopt? I mean, as a couple, to, maybe they're having some of these challenges. What best practices would you advise that they can adopt to make sexual intimacy amongst them something more enjoyable, something they should be looking forward to?
Yeah. What is that, we do believe that adults, once you're getting to 19, 20, or 21, or once you get married, or once you're married, that you are sexually mature. You know everything about sex. Most times those assumptions are really things that kind of making causing some of these problems. There's need for sexual education or sex education, not only in schools, among adults, in the community-based, sexual education. Because sometimes you see some women, they're 30, they are 28, 29, 30, they've gone to university. The assumption that we have is that, they have been exposed, So when you marry such a woman and she's shying away from you and she's doing not, doing like maybe your girlfriends are doing to you before you got married. I'm sorry to, say that, because girlfriend is different from a wife. So the woman is just like, who comes in first, because a woman plays into you. So as it is, you might assume that is her lifestyle, So there's need for, sex education for married people at the community level, so that they begin to understand, what comes what, when are you really ready for this marriage? When are you really ready for sex? Is this sex for pleasure now, or are we preparing to have child or whatever? So that you don't get a woman into a double fence of getting pregnant and tomorrow you want to abort the child, tomorrow you want to do that, so engage in a very, professional, effective, family planning, where necessary, not, mistakenly assuming, and each time a woman is going on into, abortions and all the rest of them, so it's not really very good for a woman. So sex education is very, very important, but like some people are educated, but some are not educated. Yes, and they're not educated. You look at most people that are from the very literate, families or whatever. They don't watch movies that they do watch. They don't know what is romance. They don't watch. The man will just come back from farm, and just like that, or whatever, without anything, and and it's painful. Though I'm not a woman, but I know it's painful, based on what I've read and what I've, so it's quite very, very painful. So it is good that we get into more of education for for sex, and also in terms of also trust, trust in relationship, and also forgiveness, or whatever. Sometimes most women have really, I don't know what I'm debating, but let me just say this. Sometimes most women have really been accused wrongly, or men also have been accused wrongly of what they have not really done, or what they have not even intended, to do, out of their mere, kindness or mere social, factors. Like in the contextual way, for example, when I came back, early, newly, when I joined my wife back, that kind of stuff, after my studies, in the UK. So, some people, when some of my colleagues calls me, they, in our body, just, oh, hi, my love, hi, dear, hi, this, all those kind of words, So if you don't really understand the context, maybe a woman that's not educated might say, oh, is that your people you left in the UK? Is that the people you left in the village before you come? Because you said hi, dear. So dear to them means intimacy, emotional and physical. So they begin to, some who are bullies, they will begin to bully you, and in both ways, either men or women. Oh, I say, begin to call you all sorts of names. These are some of the things that really understand your wife, know who your wife is, talk to your wife. You don't need such a thing happen. Oh, hi, honey. Who is this guy calling you all the time? Is calling you. It's okay. Is this? Is that? Okay, let it be what it is. You a lot of issues that arise in a family that really, are really very not healthy. And when you're having those issues, it decreases libido. I think I don't know if I'm using the right word. There's stress. You can stay with your wife, because once you have an issue with your wife, nothing comes up. 1 week, the woman will be, dying there, and he's not talking to you, he's not having sex, and the man is going out and thinking about himself. A woman will also thinking that why the man is not even coming there is because he's going outside to get what, and not leaving her too. So before you know it, both could misconcept each other, and the man goes this way and be doing wrong things, and the woman goes out, and at the end of the whole day, they come back to have maybe sexual, STD, sexually transmitted diseases, and you cannot accuse your wife, and your wife cannot accuse you, because both of you seems that you are doing the same thing. So the need for sex education pertaining to STD, that's a sexual transmitted disease, for them to also know that you don't use protection not only for to prevent pregnancy, but also to protect yourself against all these STDIs like HIV/AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, and it affects the entire family. If you are engaging in such, unprotected sex, or on whatever that is out of infidelity or whatever, don't think about yourself as a man only that is going to affect. Think about your family, your wife. Because if your wife is pregnant, that disease can affect the child in the womb. Either the child might come with a deformity, it might come with one kind of stuff, which affects the whole marriage.
Exactly.
Both ways. So it's something that you don't think about yourself. Any responsible man, responsible woman should abstain from sex outside marriage. That kind of something. Because when you are doing that, yes, you are doing that. You know what you're doing. But prevention, there's a mistake somehow, and you contract something. It's not only that's going to suffer it; it's going to go up the finances of the family that should have been used to pay school fees, should have been used to provide food, should have been used to support other family members who are somewhere who are in need. That can also contribute to charity, because in fact, it's not only family; it affects everybody. Wow. So that's a lot of it's interlinking. When you just look at it, they interlink to each other. So families should we should pay more attention in those community sensitization awareness of sex education. That will also help for married couples, and yet to marry couples, couples that are about to getting married, kind of what they call in church, I think marriage seminars, or they also be part of the call marriage seminar before they get into it. So I think I don't know what you're telling me, but that's what I have for that.
Thank you so much. I mean, this was really enriching. I mean, you highlighted effective communication. How they need to always communicate. You said something about one person meaning something, somebody else, interpreting it as something else. If there's no communicate, there's bound to be misinterpretation. And for me, the high point is it doesn't even affect the man or the woman alone. That is this whole having healthy sexual relations. It can stream down to the children and even extend beyond the nuclear family, particularly for the Africans that are more communal in nature. Helping some other extended families. But when the financial whatever of your trained, it's also going to be affecting those who should be
yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, I'm sure you would agree with me that it was an interesting session with Dr. Ignatius. For me, one of the high points is the importance of effective communication in a marriage, and sex is a means of communication, and how healthy sexual relations affect not just the individuals in the marriage, but also the children, and can spill over to members of the extended family. So also as unhealthy sexual relations, it affects the individuals, the children, and can spill to extended members of the family. And this is why we cannot overemphasize the importance of sexual education. It should not be presumed that, oh, because certain persons have gotten to a certain age, then they should know what to do. No, there should be some sort of intentionality as to educating people sexually, because it affects individuals, it affects them in marriages, it affects not just them, it affects the children of the marriage, it can also affect members of the extended family, and of course the vicious circle continues or goes round and round. Thank you for joining us for today's session. I remain Precious Osinako, and I'm your host for the Peacemakers Hub. Bye. Mediation Training Institute is registered in Nigeria with a vision to create a new African order where peace and harmonious coexistence will thrive, where divisive national frontiers and the burden of military spending and man-studied inhumanity to man will be things of the past. We do this by providing requisite skills and resources for managing differences, for promoting peace and harmonious coexistence at home, at work, and in the society at large, through conflict management and mediation skills training, and the promotion of mediation and other non-adversarial methods of dispute resolution in private and public sector practice. For enquiries, you can call 091-563-11242 or 080-3111-5115, or you can visit our social media pages, Mediation Training Institute, Facebook and LinkedIn at Mediation MTI, Twitter at MTI Nigeria, Instagram. Mediation Training Institute, building peace, creating harmony, sustaining relationships.